Yeah, you have to take each one individually, though, right? And each one is also worth dollars. So what would you take here if not the steam vents? Sorry, folks. I was just saying I like disinfo over the Boros card, and then Reaper over Predator was a tough pick, but I'm not even sure. I think Predator is just better. I think if I weren't operating under rare drafting, I would would have taken the Predator, but I think Reaper's a great rare to be picking up in that spot under the circumstances how we are drafting. You take an Is It Guildgate here to support future splashes, or just take a Dazzling? I'll just take the Dazzling. Oh, and my cam is in the wrong spot. Going optimal forever. Forever going optimal. Notion Rain. Crab over Mesmerist for this particular archetype. Leapfrog is playable but not good. I'm going to take the Gate for the possible splash over the Leapfrog. And now we'll get into a Mesmerist pick. Another splash enabler. I don't think we're going double splash. I also don't think we're playing this, though. So I think it's uncommon, or I guess we'll take the Plaza on the off chance. The Vault Progress just doesn't seem like a factor for tie-breaking to me. It's just something you say when there's literally nothing to play, then I go for Vault Progress. Here, I like Pass Wall number 1 over Shade number 1. Oh yeah, here we'll bring that. I don't think we're splashing this. I'd actually rather main deck a Never Happened than splash a Book Devourer, so we'll put that in for right now. Sometimes the rare drafting works out, and it's exactly what you want. Although we don't have great targets for it yet, but we'll find them. Like the best possible target, a Murmuring Mystic. Here's a splashable Bolt over Informant. It would be nice, but we'll take the splashable Bolt. And a splashable Sizzle over the cover-up that is likely to wheel. Take a land here that helps support the mana for that splash. Where are we at on... we don't really have anything that cares about Surveil yet, do we? Oh, sorry, we do. Of course, we have Disinfo campaign. So that leads me to Disappearance over Cyclops. Dowser #1 over Wisconsin Crab 2. Yeah. Oh, did I maybe I made a bad pick. I saw the bolt and got excited, but maybe I screwed that pick up and didn't look carefully enough. Maybe. I don't know if we're playing this many gates, but it's good to know that we can really splash. Heck, maybe we're splashing black? Let's take a look at that now, actually. Like, we have a medium Dowser, a splashable Notion Rain, and maybe even a splashable Disinfo, but we're not really we only have Dazzling and, like, Unexplained. So we may be veering towards splashing black for Notion Rain and Midnight Reaper. Let's see where we go from here. What do you all think? You all are on the Muse Drake. We need that more. I guess we're pretty light on 4s. I'm with you. Informant is a solid grab there. I don't think we're running 2 Never Happens in the main. Probably even not this first one. I'm starting to think more and more we're actually Izzet. Yeah, Brian Wong introduced Shelly. I'm behind on chat here, but let me see. Elmer was, I can't remember whether it was John or Marshall that observed that there were a lot of elks on cards, but it was actually a guest host who named the elk Elmer. I think the bear is Harold. Harold's the bear. Sorry, let's get this out. Not doing any of this. Well, maybe we're still black. I guess we're just heavy blue is the main thing. Spybug over Takedown when we really don't have much yet to support the Spybug. We have Dazzling, we have Disappearance, we have Informant, we have Notion Rain, and we have the Disinfo. So let's take the Spybug and try to support the Surveil from here. But Takedown is pretty good. Here's a takedown we get. But not. I'm doing it. I'm following through. This is a tough one, though. I really want this takedown. Ooh, another tough one. Notion Rain. We're going to take the Narcomoeba. Yeah, I'm being really strict about it today. We're just going to see how it goes. Rat or Cover-Up? Weathered and Zerlik. This account has this account. My paid account has 4 of every rare and mythic in this set. So every rare we draft out of a pack is worth 20 gems, and every mythic we draft out of a pack is worth 40 gems. So one of the things we're debating, discussing, thinking about, and experimenting with today is at what point is the card that you would like to take for your deck worth more than 20 gems in the case of a rare or 40 gems in case of a mythic. And you do that by assessing your, I mean, we could, maybe we'll look into this later if people are actually into it, but like, you know, we have the spreadsheets that calculate EV. You can start looking at how much win percentage has to change for and to affect your gem EV by how much, and then start to ask those types of questions. No, I didn't. I took campaign second, and the rare was missing. But where are you guys at on this? 50-50 rat versus cover-up. I'm about that split as well, so let's look at curve here. We have a few 4s. We don't necessarily want all those crabs, and this Muse Drake is whatever. And rat, we're a little thin on 2s. I definitely would like a cover-up. You know, you want a cover-up in these decks. No kidding, no question. But I think we have to worry about our early... Plus, you know... Plus, there's always this. Some say I never heard of ya, a rat burglar. Like, there's meme equity involved in that pick. Too bad this isn't a rare. I don't think you just don't get rares at 6 now. They just don't go, they don't come that late. That doesn't make the calculation hard. You just have to think of it. No, the rat burglar doesn't have a name, but we've been talking about the calling subscribers the pack, the rat pack, because of to get a sub you get the rat burglar. But I don't know, that rat doesn't have a name, but if so, it should be like something Public Enemy related. And so anyway, I was going to say we can take a let me just take a brief moment to show you what I mean. Over on the left monitor. Let's go to the left monitor for a moment and take a look at limited event gem EV math. So we're going to call me a 60% player, and we're going to look at ranked draft, and we see that I'm expecting to pay 38 gems per game. Or per event, like let's do this because it's a nice round number. My event cost is 250 gems under my current win rate. If we think, now this is where the real debate is: how much does not having that artful takedown in my deck reduce my win percentage by? And because I don't think it's huge, I think it's. But let's say it was 2%. I think even that's a lot. But let's say it's 2%. If we say it's 2%, then we've gone up. We've paid 33 more gems. So if we think it's 2%, we shouldn't do it. If we think it's 1%. Then the final gem cost goes up by 17, and then it's barely worth it. If it's a 0.5%, then it's like twice as good to do it that way. So this is, I wanted to bring you here and do this to just show you how fine it is, how narrow it is, and how, you know, and where the real question is. The real question is, what does the loss of these cards cost us in terms of win percentage? And it's possible that I'm doing this, again, we're doing this for science. We're going hardcore to the wall on the paid account for science. but it's possible that that we should be a little more choosy about where we rare draft to maximize our gems. And let's go back to draft view. Now I'll catch up on chat a little bit since you were just all covered up. Zerlik, you got to understand how tiny these percentages are. We're talking about my expected win percentage, which unaltered is 60%. Like, you're taking a card that's worth some amount and replacing it with a different one. It's not like we don't get to put a card in that slot. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. The percentages have to be against replacement value. They're not just a straight up loss. So if you're thinking that not taking an artful takedown has lowered my expected win percentage by multiple percentage points, I think you're overshooting it, because it's wins against replacement, it's EV against replacement, and that card has to show up. Like, the card I got replaced with has to show up and lose me a game that the other one won. You know, it's a harder percentage than most people think, or a much lower percentage than a lot of people think. But what are we taking here? We're 50-50 on Locket. Yeah, I guess we take the Locket versus Plaza question. I don't think we're not playing a Plaza, so we'll take the Locket just in case. Bats is fine. Although, I don't think we're main decking Surveillance, so we'll just take Bats. Dimir Locket. Could see playing one of those. Another Dazzling is okay. And a single Severed works for me. And a Veiled Shade might be correct. Take the uncommon. I'm with DJ, who is skeptical. Any card gives you 2% over replacement value. If there's anything we're talking about, if there's anything we're talking about, huge bombs. Totally agree. I went 2% was my. Let's assume it's crazy like that. It heavily impacts. Like 2% is saying it has a heavy impact. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it does. But it is. Is it more worth it for a worse player, say 48% versus a 50%? Well, Ubermensch, you can make a copy of that spreadsheet to your own Google Drive or whatever, and edit those percentages to your heart's content to explore that very question. So we got 140 out of this one. We'll add to the sheet. 140 has been the steady clip so far, although last time then we got an extra 20 from the pack, so it was 160, and we'll get at least that here. So it was 140 gems, 20 booster. Okay, getting that done. And Zerlik, you may be correct. I'm just saying it's a tough calculation. Yeah, how replaceable is it? If it's a linchpin type card, you know, we're just removal light. We have a lot less removal in this deck because we kept passing removal for rares. So we'll see how it plays out. Okay, we could even play the Narcomoebia. We have enough. Maybe we don't. I don't think we have enough good Surveil. And let's see, our current count is 1411, and we only need 2 cuts. We can cut our worst creatures. What do we hate here? What am I like? Ew, this isn't our deck. This is kind of an ew for this type of format. This isn't great. Beacon Bolt is going to be decent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 we play invert and vent. So we have 8 things to go fetch, and sorcery, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. We have some good sorceries, some weak instants this time. Yeah, I doubt it's hard for one individual card in a deck to impact win percentage by a full 2 percentage points. Hey, Jagsto, welcome. I need 1 cut here. What do we, or 2 cuts? Maybe we just cut the invert and vent on the splash as not being quite good enough. Although it does combine, we have the dazzling to do that trick. But I think we can probably also get rid of like Veiled Shade. We have enough ways to win. We can cut a Muse Drake as being pretty uninspiring. Well, it does sacrifice to a Severed Strands reasonably. We could cut that. Do it like that. And let's figure out how we want to splash. Probably not with... Probably like that for a splash. The play that goes wrong. Good luck, Nantuko. Going in blind. I love it. I think I like this, and I want the 2 Dazzlings because we're playing the Spy Bug in the campaign. And... we'll call this Rare Drafting Campaign, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue, and 7, 8 black, which seems about right. So we'll call it good. Let me do this. You can add the invert and vent back if you're happy with that land. With what land? What do you mean? With this? I don't know what you mean by land. Oh, 39. I see. Wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Because there's only 16 land. That's the problem. Because we don't have a thing at the top of our column anymore. Let's bring it even. Steven. 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. I wouldn't have been short a land if there was the number 16 at the top of this column. I promise you that. Actually, I want to go back and get this picture. The other one had the land pile up, but it's nicer to have a deck image that shows a lot of your sideboard options as well. Do I want to play that gate? I decided not to. I think we have 3 red splashes for the 2 red cards, and I like that. It's still cold. I think I forgot to turn on the heat. I'm going to be right back. Hopefully we won't lose 30% of my viewers, but I'm just going to take 30 seconds to go turn on my heat. Hold on. Mute! Will you just mute the first time I touch you? Goddamn Mike. Grr. Well, I turned up the heat, but the dragon has not responded yet. We'll see how that goes. Nice draw there. See if it lives. Not holding out hope, but it was fun to draw it. You gonna let us untap with a spy bug? All right, maybe. Cool. It's a bit of a tell to not attack, but I'm gonna not attack. Because we have Dazzling to make it a 2/2 and to make our opponent's creature an 0/2, so we'll see if we can make this happen. They might have tricks too, but we do have 2 Dazzlings, so let's. They can't counter this, so I'm going to do it before, see if they do anything. We get our splash land, but what we need is black to get to Doom Whisper. I'm going to make all this go away and try to get our Doom Whisper cast on time. Although maybe it's irresponsible to pass up on my splash land. Tough to say. We don't have any red cards yet. I'm going to pitch it and look for black. So we'll save it. It's worth it. And we get to go looking for more swamps. No swamp, but I am taking the Reaper. Alright, well, they put a lot of work into that. Too bad the Reaper wasn't around in time, but I'm going to actually start with the Mystic. Play out all our mana. It's really too bad they got rid of the Spy Bug, because if they didn't, we could make it pretty lethal pretty quickly with Doom Whisperer. And trying to decide if we care about leading with the less important 5-drop to try and bait removal. I think I'm going to do that. I know, yeah, we both have a lot of life. This isn't about life totals right now or taking a little damage. I want to bait out their cards on creatures that aren't our best one. And And since they did nothing to deal with it, I mean, they might be planning to build out their board and then tap it down or whatever. But now we will go ahead. I'm surprised they, like, what were they? Why did they did attack? Okay, they did attack. Never mind. It's like, didn't they attack? Okay, they attacked. We'll throw this out now. They're playing white. They could have conclave, whatever. They could have pacifism. There's many things weathered that they could do to a Dowser that I would rather they do that than the Doom Whisperer. And with 5, I should have done this. I should have thought this through before casting the Whisperer. But if we attack here, they could put this and this on and still not get... Yeah, we can attack with a Dowser even. I could play the Reaper. I'm not sure what they have here. They have many cards. They have three cards and have not played anything. They've got the guild. Maybe they're just trying to tap. We'll see if they're just in this to tap. So I'll play the Adept. Yeah, they're just in it to tap. Cool. Down with that. And this can't really die. I'm going to let him use either one of their cards in hand or chump if they want. Looks like chumping. Chumping good by me. And then we can start on unblockability. We'll pay a couple life to sort out our draws, and looks like we're going to pay a couple more life to draw some extras. Yeah, Reaper's going to eat a direct current. That's cool. Something's got to eat a direct current, and we get a card out of it, so I'm down. If we Notion Rain, we still have pre-combat. We still have one Adept activation, so let's start with a Rain. And we don't have any double colors, right? So this... Oh, no, we do. We have the quasi-duplicate, right? So let's do it this way. One-time quasi-duplicate for me thinking ahead, being smart, and not letting auto-tap screw me. Come on, Magic Gods. Give this one to me. Well, we don't really need either of these, so... Still a chance. One time, duplicate. Oh, not quite, not quite. Let's see what Oppo wants to do about this attack. No surprise there. Since it dies to this anyway, I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Reaper. And they can trade there if they want. Maybe we'll still get our quasi-duplicate this turn. Nope. dragon is finally awake and warming me up. Definitely feeling better now. Finally, there it is. Okay, well... Don't even care about this. We're not really winning that way. Okay. Oh, we are 1-0 here, not my lying record from before. Some days I do want music while I'm streaming, but I don't want the VODs to be muted. Maybe I can find some. But also I feel like me doing a starting song of the day and me playing you some music when I go get lunch or go to the bathroom or whatever is like just the right amount of me forcing music on you all. I kind of really don't like streams where the streamer constantly plays music, because then you're just subject to their taste entirely. And I don't want anybody like leaving my stream because they don't share my musical taste, you know? What is my taste in music? Are you on Discord? Like, I guess it would be indie rock. That's the simplest, that's the quick answer. But a longer answer would be go to the Discord and look at the music channel. And I shared some of the... I've shared 2 playlists, one starting song of the day playlist and one break and meme playlist. So if you want to... It's generally reflective of the type of stuff I listen to. Absolutely, Queen. I take no... I take zero insult at that. Music is very, very personal, and... it fascinates me that way. It fascinates me how I can just adore a song and it completely turns you off, and vice versa. Like, what is going on in our brains that I can't stop singing this thing and I want to listen to it all the time, and you think it's crap, you know? Like, what? It's just very interesting. Our musical tastes are very interesting to me. That's why I'm not gonna. I don't want to make Queen listen to my music all day long. I want her to stay here and enjoy herself. Awkward. If I passed a dead weight for this, I'm sorry, chat. It was a mistake. This should be, if so, this should absolutely be a dead weight. I think I just saw it and got excited because we had all these. Had all this ability to splash red. So, unfortunately, well, they don't have the ability to mentor anything here yet, so maybe it'll work out. Maybe I need to, given that, Notion Rain even? Can we take a turn off to Notion Rain? Or do we need to Midnight Reaper and threaten to trade here? We do have Mystic coming up to hold the ground. Not sure what I'm playing here. I guess we play the Reaper. Let's play the Reaper. Right, exactly, DJ. So I do feel like playing a couple songs before I'm on is a nice balance, because I love sharing music. Obviously, I'm a huge music fan, very passionate about music, and so now, are we doing it? I am going to make this trade. I think we have stabilization tools ahead, so let's just get there. That's a great call about Rain being better after Mystic anyhow. Let's see if the Mystic survives. And yeah, it's not even about that you think it's crap or whatever. Like, it just doesn't... Like, what is it that makes, for me, an earworm, and for you as a... You know, not that you hate it or, like... I could take or leave this, whereas for me, I want to play it nonstop for 48 hours, you know? The subjectivity of art is something that fascinates me greatly. So now we have... if we Notion Rain, leaving an island, we're likely to have Dazzling and or Unexplained if we find a land. So now we're going to Notion Rain and get on it. You don't really care for music, do you? Yeah, we could have played Crab, but this is good too. We want, just deciding if we want the pass wall. We definitely want the island. Pass wall blocks, blocks reasonably right now, so I'll keep these both. And then the question is, are we pass walling? Probably leaving a disappearance. Let's leave a disappearance. Music's ability to connect and react to and influence and mix with emotion is just what blows me away. Like, how music can provide emotion, like movie soundtracks, you know, that of course the Jaws theme sounds like a shark coming to get you. It's perfect, right? Of course the screeching violins in Hitchcock movies make you feel terror and discomfort. It's like, but it's just amazing to me that all those things do that music has that power. So we could let's dazzle the Gorgon and kill it. Great to get rid of those, although we need one, don't we? Yeah, let's keep one swamp. At least. Yeah, one swamp is fine. Or how music, like there's uplifting music that just feels happy. How do notes, how does sound vibration in your ear in a specific order make you feel happy versus sad? It's crazy. I love it. Love that stuff. Okay. We can drop a Dowser. We can play Veiled Shade and still have Unexplained Disappearance. I like taking on this next turn with Unexplained Disappearance available, and Veiled Shade maybe gives us some Threat of Activation attack ability. Well, the Shade in this case starts out at 2/2 and only takes 2 to pump. The other one starts out at a 1/1 and takes 3 to pump, so that's why. the base stats are worse and the activation is more expensive. Yeah, I guess I could have played Crab for the Disappearance, but I like Veiled Shade's ability to start attacking more than the Crab. And we're already doing fine on defense here. 1 mana is a ton. Think about the math of, like, this Veiled Shade. This Veiled Shade, if we draw, let's say we draw a swamp, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With 7 mana, we threaten to make this a 5/5. The other Shade with 7 mana, you're threatening to make it a 3/3. Like, that's huge. Beacon Bolt is not quite there yet. Hopefully, eventually, the Beacon Bolt can take out this flyer. And I think we're going to go ahead and disappear it in the meantime. Sizzle. Well, can't cast it, though, is the problem. Sorry, Sizzle. I want you. Now watch us draw the red source instead. Man, maybe it's powerful enough to be worth keeping against what our opponent is doing. But Sizzle doesn't kill this, whereas Beacon Bolt might, and getting Sizzle into the graveyard actually gets toward that, so let's do that. And there's our red, just as predicted, but still made sense to do that play. This is now at 4, so yeah, it's actually, it's close to being able to take out this Equinox, so that's nice. And we don't need the mana for it this turn, though. With 6, we can do Crab plus Adept, or just start with the Dowser. But let's do the whole threat of activation thing first here. Yeah, let's not pretend this shade is particularly good. If my best Dimir decks in the format have no shades in them. I'm going to enter it tapped, and we'll do Crab and Pass Wall. Adapt is a great place, Queen, where the vanilla test is your friend. You know, when you're assessing any of these cards with these activated abilities and mana sinks that you can dump into them, always start with asking yourself if you would be happy with paying that much mana for that much power and toughness with no rules text. Beacon Bolt is a sorcery. Can we race here? We can't really race. Well, we can race if we chump. We have birds to chump with, and we have a Dowser we can start making unblockable, and a Veiled Shade that is not enough. But it might be actually worth taking out the Colossus to attack with the Shade. But we could start... Now let's just get a Dowser going for next turn. We can talk about base vanilla test right now. The whole point of the vanilla test, or at least as I introduced it, was a way to calibrate your assessment of a creature's rules text by first calibrating how you feel about it as a thing without rules text. So the point of the vanilla test with regards to something like a Shade is to say, you know, a 2/2 for 3 is not good. We don't like that. So the ability has to be very good in order for us to be willing to play that card, you know. So as a baseline, really, Queen, what you want to do with vanilla test is just start when you look at a creature. Just make sure the first thing you're doing when you look at a creature is treating it like it didn't have any rules text and asking yourself how you feel about it. That just helps you frame the value of the rules text you then go on to read. right now. That's a card. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We even get to send in our Dowser and still cast the Doom Whisperer. I don't think it's. I think you're right, Queen. It's not good. It's a little clunky. If you once you get it out, you know, a 4/5 flyer is a beast to deal with. But I think you're right that the cost isn't quite there with it. Boo. But we still get to fix our draws to the extent that we want to with 9 life. But I think we want to do it at least once. We want to get this Beacon Bolt up in strength a little bit. And here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could put literally everything on the World Soul. If we did that, how would they spend the 6 damage? Probably on Murmuring Mystic. Well, if they spend it on Murmuring Mystic, that's all they get. I would like some more 1/1s, but we're at 9 life, so so I think we need to do like this, and maybe this, and this. What if we did that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they would spend their 6 on like the Shade and the Adept and the 1/1. I don't know if that is worth it. We could do it like this, but then we're giving up all of our flying protection, and we're in deeper trouble to this next time, so I don't think that's realistic. Maybe what's realistic is just chumping for this time, and let's untap and reassess next time. Nothing here has trample, right? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Because if we can get there, like this is not good. Do we do it one more time? I think we do. We really want to find what we need here. Okay, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Yeah, totally. This is why it's bad, right? We can make another Doom Whisperer, or we can make a bunch of Mystics. I guess another Doom Whisperer is a place to start. Reasonable place to start here. And now the Beacon Bolt can take out the Equinaut. And we don't have the 3 mana to get that through. If they want to put everything on there, they could kill that, and probably would. Should have attacked first, as usual. Didn't. Not going to worry about it. But if they want to... Yeah, we're not going to trade. We're not going to make that trade. Yes, there is a... I went and turned on my heat. Is this a chilly winter day here in Seattle, and had to turn the furnace on, and I'm literally 6 feet away from my furnace. So sorry about that. Small house streamin', folks. Small house streamin'. Yeah, especially in limited, you really have to take things as the group, as the ecosystem it is. So, like, one thing I've noticed, for example, is that we've had a lot of 3-4 common blue flyers in the last several sets. And now in RNA, like, there's no common 3-4 flyers that I can think of offhand. Maybe I'm forgetting something. And they're all 3/3s, and I thought that would be like, this is an important difference. And it kind of has been, but only in the sense that that it made me realize that, since there's none, 3/3 flyers are almost as good as 3/4 flyers in RNA, just because there's no 3/4 flyer to really stonewall them. Yeah, we can go turn 4 Whisperer. But I'm not actually sure that's even what I want to do here. It's powerful, but they just probably remove it right away. I would rather... well, if we had a 5th land, I would definitely want to do it that way. But I guess since we don't have a 2nd black or a 5th land, I will lock it up with you. We'll go for it. No, that's my furnace. That's the dragon. Well, remember, the 8 mana thing has Convoke. Are you remembering that it has Convoke? I mean, with Convoke, you really have to shave... You start by shaving 1 mana off to even get it in range of where you're costing it. So you can really think of that creature as like a 7-drop. And then in the right decks, it's a 6 and 5-drop or whatever. Yeah, which is why it's a middling pick. If it were cheaper, it would be a higher pick. I mean, that's the bottom line, right? It could exist as a higher pick, but part of the balancing and creation of... I'm trying to decide if I'm using Dazzling here. I don't think I am, not with Murmuring Mystic around. Yeah, there's an instinct that I think you're showing here, Queen, that players have when they see a Magic card of asking themselves, well, or observing, this card could be better without being broken. And when a player sees a card that could be better without being broken, there is a tendency to say, so why isn't it that good? Why not bring every card up to its maximum power potential without being broken? And actually, now I'm going to do Mystic with Dazzling Lights. Although it doesn't really get us... No, that can work. Let's... I'm going to go Mystic with Dazzling Lights here. Oh yeah, I might be sending it right into the arms of a Disdainful Stroke. That's really format rust showing there, although we would have gotten the Doom Whisperer stroked anyway. But really, when I'm at my peak with this format, I play around Stroke much better than that. And so not only, like, well, first it's impossible. Like, you're never going to be like, everything is perfectly balanced. Everything is a B+. You know, that you're never going to get that anyway. But you specifically, as you're designing a draft format or designing a limited format, you do things like say, hey, the Boros deck is really good, and part of the reason why is that it's getting to curve out, you know, we have that 4/5 Convoke flyer at 7 mana, and they're just getting it out a turn early, fast enough that Boros players are taking it instead of leaving it for the Selesnya players as intended. So let's make it more expensive so that it gets into the hands of the players that can actually make the most use of it. Like something like that. So it's not only just about not having all cards be the same, per se, but it's about tweaking the archetypes in your draft environment as you go and making sure that they are doing what you want them to do. So here's we might get stroked again. I don't know how we can keep playing around stroke. I guess we could play Midnight Reaper and Informant. We could play Beacon Bolt for 0. I guess we can't play Beacon Bolt. Let's go Reaper and Informant here, actually. Although a second stroke, really? You really have a second stroke? I call. You don't have a second stroke. Huh. Funny that they don't want to attack with the spy bug. I can't block it. I doubt they're going to block it. Are we attacking? I'm trying to find a way to attack with this Doom Whisperer, but I'm not currently seeing it. I'm going to take one more turn to be conservative. And I'm being conservative by playing this instead of the Informant so that we have Dazzling Lights available. Because if I'm not attacking with a Doom Whisperer, it's because I'm intending to block with it, and if they attack, I want to have a trick ready. So a 3/3 for 3 is the best kind of vanilla test. That's not how I would look at it. It's really, again, you know, Luis and Marshall have talked about passing and failing the vanilla test. For me, even though it has the word test in it, it's not... I mean, I guess it passes and fails, but it passes and fails contextually. I would never make some hard and fast rule in the complete abstract that 3/3s for 3 pass the vanilla test. In some formats they would, in some formats they wouldn't. Wait, what did... Oh, they're doing that. Sorry, never mind. I got a little distracted with my chat. So, the vanilla test, again, is really just about asking yourself what you think of it without rules text, so you can help yourself adjust properly from that baseline point when you do read the rules text. Let's use this. Should have been doing that before. All right, we have that. Crab. Crab's the kind of card that actually starts to let us attack on in the air, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. Judging a card. Why does it... You don't understand the... It's not nonsense. I push back hard on that, Stratic. It's just a simple way of saying, okay, this has complicated rules text. Are we happy with, you know, what do we think of a 3/2 for 3? It's like a D. It's not great. So to be happy to run this, that sets my stage, and then I get to read the rules text. I just think that's a useful thing, obviously. Anyway, I don't want to time out here. It's not that you don't complete it, Stratic. You don't, like, vanilla test it and then not look at the rules text. It's just to set the stage for looking at the rules text. Yes, I would say this, Stratic. You do the vanilla test every single time. Every time you look at a new card, a new creature you've never seen before, you do the vanilla test. You just don't think of it consciously, and I just put a name to it to help newer players figure that out. There's one other one. It's the invert invent also does. Let's offer the Mesmerist for the Pede, and we'll throw these two on here, and then Dazzle the Dowser. Banana Jack Vanilla. The vanilla test is when you assess a card by starting with looking at the power and toughness and casting cost, and starting from there to ask yourself what you think of it in that context, and then adding the further context of the rules text afterwards. So basically, starting your assessment of a new creature by looking at its power, toughness, and cost, thinking about that for a moment, and what you think of it, and then adding the context of what its rules text actually says. Get rid of all that now. How's this bolt looking? Can't believe this bolt is still just a one power affair. I'm not gonna activate Doom Whisperer. Maybe I should. We're just getting a little low on life. I'm gonna risk it. Yeah, I knew what would happen. You get a freaking land. Oh well. I'm still going to attack. Still think like we're racing here. Can you explain your formula, Ubermensch? What are we, so, Oppo must be really annoyed with me. I am playing like I've never played this game before. Let's inform. Man, our Chevales have been good in the sense that we've really been scraping land off the top. But I want to, I want this beacon bolt to do more than one. We have another Dazzle, so soon it will do 2. Another Spy Bug. Yikes. Okay. Now, I kind of think we are going to take a look here. They've stopped attacking, and I really want to get this bolt going. My gosh. Pass wall, though. I'm going to pass on the pass wall, I think. We're already getting through here. These need to stay back on D, and I want to find more instants and sorceries. Still can't. So yeah, let's do the first one on the weaker bug. But also let's attack first. Was maybe pass wall was lethal and I'm an idiot. That's always possible. Let's go here. Oh, because it's got trample? Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. Great. We get to get him. I totally forgot about that card. I'm just lucky we have the Dazzling Lights to punish. All right, that was enough for them, but that was a little embarrassing. Honestly, I completely forgot about that dart. It was only because we happened to have the dazzling lights that that worked out. Hey, Yargle, what's up? Yeah, they totally could have gotten me. If they hadn't gotten so eager, I would have forgotten and they would have gotten their man. Totally, Iceman. In fact, let's, I knew the whole time. I was, the reason I passed to allow things to go to damage is because I just knew my opponent was going to, incorrectly activate. I never used it to... I don't know how much more clear I can be. Like, I feel like, in a way, Luis and Marshall and the hosts after me have perverted what I ever meant by the vanilla test. The point of the vanilla test is not to decide whether a card is good. It's to decide what you think of it so far. That's it. Instead of just trying to take it in all at once and start on the rules text, take it in 2 stages. Stage 1, assess this. Stage 2, assess that. That's it. That's it. I don't care what you think beats, like, what wins a vanilla test. Like, I don't even know how to say it other than that. Like, it's just about sequencing your assessment of a card. The vanilla test is just sequencing your assessment of a card to maximize your understanding of it. That's it. At least as I define it. And I'm sitting here thinking about what order we're going to do things. I'm going to start with the Reaper. It's like, think of it this way. It's, you do the vanilla test not to decide, not to learn how good the creature is per se. It's to understand how good you need the rules text to be. This screams of Whisper Agent. I really wish we had a Dazzling on hand to punish the Whisper Agent, but I will trade the Reaper for the Whisper Agent. It's okay. Or they don't have it. Wow. That's really surprises me. That just looked like total Whisper Agent play when they have 3 different types of mana, 6 cards, and they haven't played anything. We're going to go... well, Stroke would be bad. I'm going to play the Locket into the Rat to avoid Stroke. Although there was a pause there, so we know they got something they could do. Some
say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Ionize. Okay. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, LR talks too much about things passing and failing the vanilla test when that's not really the point. I mean, most things fail the vanilla test in the sense that a creature with rules text is unlikely... a creature with positive rules text is unlikely to impress you as a vanilla. right? So it's never about saying, but it can be, sometimes you realize, oh, it's fine. That's the main thing. Like, I should tell you, after this story, I think I've said it on the show before, on LR before, but I'll speak to the origin story of the vanilla test too after that, and that might help explain what my philosophy around it is about. But if you don't feel it's fine that it hasn't passed the vanilla test, and then we get back to what I was saying, which is that I never even looked at vanilla test as a pass-fail thing, only as part of your sequencing when assessing magical cards. Right on, Stratic. Glad we got there. We can sizzle that Sphinx eventually, but I want to start with the campaign. Gosh, we can even sizzle 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, gosh, we can sizzle and campaign? How awesome is that? Yeah, we'll sizzle now. Glaive, unfortunately, is still going to be able to trade for the Reaper, even with the dazzling lights. But it is still a trade. Let's start there. Let's start with the... I guess we'll attack with both, and if they block the informant, we will... Yeah, I didn't think they would take the free informant. Now the question is whether we dazzle to get the campaign back, but we have a nice play in the Dowser, so I think we'll... but this is also the last chance to get something. But this is probably a land, given that they spent their turn glaving up instead of getting it out of their hand. I'm just going to... It doesn't change things, so we can dazzle later is the bottom line. Because now we can just do this. And if they play something where we wish we had dazzled, we still get to. Like, if we want to pull this back to our hand, we still can. I can't do anything about that, so we are beating down with informants until we can improve things. Slow beats, but they're only at 7, so slow beats may get there. Pass wall. 1... I'm just figuring out... Yeah, we can crack this now. Because there are 2 drops we might want to play. But there weren't, not this time. I don't think you're going to like what you see. You probably have to take the bats. Fair. Okay, so I was going to give... Let me give you the origin story. And also, like, the French vanilla test is fine as well, in the sense that most of us are pretty good at assessing a 2/2 flyer for 2 and a blue, right? So the vanilla test is really like a French vanilla test. because you can do it that way. But the origin story, actually, regular viewer Dweebicus, I don't know if Dweebicus is around today, but Dweebicus I worked with back in Surreal in the mid-aughts, and we started a sealed league there, and it was the Morningtide era, so Lauren Morningtide sealed. And Dave was playing a red deck in which he had left a Lowland Oaf out of his deck. So card Lowland Oaf. So I was looking through his deck and looking through what he was not playing. And first of all, at the time, a 3/3 for 3, a true hill giant, was still a reasonable creature. Not great, but reasonable. And his deck wasn't great either, so he was playing things clearly worse than a Lowland Oaf in his deck. And I said, Dave, why aren't you playing this Lowland Oaf? And he said to me, well, I don't have any goblins in my deck. So this is the origin story of the term the vanilla test, because my buddy Dave didn't want to run Lowland Oaf because he didn't have any goblins, even though a 3/3 for 3 was better than 2 or 3 of the cards he was choosing to run in the deck. And so at that moment, that's where I said, well, let's do a vanilla test. If this creature had no rules text, would you play it as a 3/3 for 4? And he realized, oh yeah, I would. And then put it in his deck, and the vanilla test was born. So that's the origin story of the vanilla test, and is exactly how I intended it to be used, which is just to give a player like Dave, who was getting back into Magic at that time, a baseline understanding of the card he had before he tried to interpret the rules text on it. And so that's one example of that. But here's Aaron Forsyth, director of Magic R&D, went around the office one time to prove a point, and he had 2 cards. He had a let's say it was a 5 and a green, or let's say 4 and a green for a 4/5. Okay, 4 and a green for a 4/5. And it was like, oh, I want to get this right, because it was a little bit worse even. It was like, I want to get this from Aaron. I'll have to go get the exact from Aaron, but it was basically like this. Would you rather have a 4 and a green 5/5, or a 4 and a green 4/5, or a 4 and a green 5/5 with the rules text, tap, you lose the game? Okay, so let's say it that way. 4/5 for 5, or a 5/5 for 5 with tap, lose the game. And Aaron Forsyth took this around and showed it to people around the company. So some Magic players, some experience, some wide variety of experience at Wizards. And anyway, most people said the card they liked, or the card they thought was better, the card they liked more and thought was better, was the 4/5 for 5, because it didn't have this scary rules text of lose the game on it, right? So even though there's no reason for you to have to activate the lose the game text, people chose the worst card because it didn't have meaningless, useful looking text on it. So that's another example of what the vanilla test is for in my mind. It's to yeah, exactly. It's got the Mindslaver argument, but that's about it, right? No, that wasn't a real Magic card. Aaron wasn't taking that around to figure out if that's something R&D should print. He took it around to prove the point of the vanilla test, which is that players see rules text, and the rules text informs their opinion of the card far more than the actual mana cost, power, and toughness do. Utopia usually not great. We have no 3 though, so we get to play our gate. Right. Or useless is a strong term. The other thing that happens is bad, like inefficient. Classic is like the seeing a totally decent thing like a 2/2 for 2 with 6 colon gets +2/+2 until end of turn, right? Like people get hung up on how bad a deal 6 mana is to get +2/+2 is until end of turn without just saying, it's bonus, it's upside. Trying to figure out what to cast here. We have actually no cards in hand that make this make birds, so I feel no pressure to actually play the Mystic right now. And we'd rather just start with the thing that threatens the most life total. Yeah, non-bows. I think, who was it the other day who was saying they would, like it was maybe Ben Stark on LR was just saying who would never ever play a non-bow. And no, Queen, that's this is what I'm trying to bring to this streaming game that others don't necessarily do is this kind of talk. So I'm glad for you to ask those questions. Depends on the non-bow. I will never play a spell that says target opponent should sacrifice as a creature in a deck that also has pacifism. You know, I think the pacifism Diabolic Edict non-bow is a total non-starter, and you just never want to do that. They are going to play Worm. I guess with them playing on the road to big stuff, we just need to go with our big stuff and see if we can close this game out in the air right quick. I wouldn't do it. Like, why would you... like, the moment I draw the pacifism first and need to cast it, I have now turned one of my spells into a blank. I am not turning one of my spells in my deck into a goddamn Queen of Hearts. The race is on, but I like what we're doing up in the sky here. And we'll even... let's see, do we need to... yeah, let's take a look. Let's set up our draw. That seems like actually disinfo is not what we want here. This isn't going to be about grindy card draw, so as crazy it is, we're going to get rid of that. And really what I want is something more like a Severed Strands that turns a Mystic, or, you know, turns a Mystic Bird or something into removal. So we'll keep it, we'll do it like this. And with 5, if we lock it, we end up with 3. We don't have anything for 3, so I don't think I want to lock it now. We're just going to play one of our crabs. True Fire, not enough. I think we just get there. All right. Sometimes 9 power in the air by turn 5 is good enough. Rock on. So sample size and all, we've had a couple of bummer 2 3s, 1 3s today, but now we got one that's going pretty well. Maybe it'd be going even better if we had, let's see, what was the missing cards from this one? So as a reminder, in this deck we gave up a Deadweight. We have this Midnight Reaper instead of a Nightveil Predator. And we are short 1 Takedown and 1 Notion Rain due to our rare drafting. So we would get like 3 excellent cards better and 1 kind of parallel card change if we had not rare drafted this as much. Last game? No, I'll play this one out. We're at 5 wins, so this is either... well, actually, I think I need to go get my kid. I will play this out unless I need to bail to go pick up my kids from school. So I need to leave to do that in a while. I think we'll be fine. Just remember, 5% is a huge amount of win percentage. Like, 5% is like the difference between my skill level and the skill level of top pros. So it's a big drop. They're showing all sorts of responses, but we gotta try to cast our spells. Maybe this will make it. We can't get Informant and Lights, and they're still showing all this. What is all this mana about? What are you up to, Oppo? I'm just going to attack first. Okay. I know if I did this first, this would get bigger, but this mana scared me, so I wanted to attack first and give up that point of damage to suss out what's going on here a little bit. I think I'm going to go Locket, Pass Wall. It depends on what you mean by developing. I mean, there's a 7-year plan when it comes to creative. So in a sense, I was working at WotC for the planning of sets even after, far into the future. But developing, yes. They were at the... I did... so at Wizards, you do company-wide rare polls to give feedback on what you think of a new set's rares. And I think the last rare poll I did was from a couple of sets from now. Sorry, where are we here? We cannot sizzle. We could disappear that thing. We can dazzle it to make it a 1/4. We can do this to make it an O whatever. I think actually we just... Let's bounce it and... get rid of that. And then do that. No red yet, so I think we're going to ditch the bolt. They've got a lot of cards, though, so we'll keep the rat. Yeah, there's a term when you go to work in R&D called your black hole. What's your black hole? And your black hole is represents the sets that are in the can, the sets that are basically done, in Wizards from a card tech standpoint, but haven't shipped yet. Because it's like you come in and you need to learn all that stuff before you can be helpful on the new stuff. So your black hole is that gap. It's kind of a funny WotC term. And sure, let's just do this right now.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
And this is our biggest attacker, so we'll make it attack. You still have to revisit sets so they can learn from mistakes. I mean, sure, you revisit all of your designs in that way, and a lot of R&D spends a lot of time looking backwards to understand what worked and didn't work about every given set. I think that was a concession. Easy game. Actually, I'm going to cancel for a second and go check my water situation, give my pump a little bit of a burst here. Hello. Yeah, we have a fine deck. It would be 3 cards much better if we hadn't rare drafted. Thank you for the follow. Let's just 7-0 this one. Seems fine to me. Find 1 land, and we have our turn 4 Doom Whisperer. After a turn 2 Mesmerist, and Oppo has mulliganed. Forcing Dimir is too strong of a way to put it. And you know me, I love my Dimir. I lean heavily towards Dimir, but I feel... and that means that when presented with cards of similar power level, I will basically almost always take the Dimir one over a non-Dimir one. And there are probably cards in the abstract that's like, yes, in the abstract, that green card is more powerful than this black card. But I'm definitely going to be taking them over, you know, prioritizing Dimir cards over guilds I don't like. And here, I'm going to attack... Yeah, they're not going to block, because the Mesmerist is the Mesmerist. Play the Locket. We can Dazzle if there's some sort of... Like if Tajik comes down here, we'll use the Dazzle, but pretty much only for Tajik. Yeah, Stratic, it would be correct, because then you get into, well, in this format, this medium-looking black card is better than that good-looking green card because of the nature of this format. Basic land, please. Basic land on the untap. Well, actually, now that they've left that mana up, I'm not sure I want to cast the Doom Whisperer anyway. Yeah, that makes me nervous. I'm going to Notion Rain, see if we get a pause. Yeah, there's the pause. But it's if they had something like what is it? Stroke, we wouldn't see it for an Ocean Rain anyway. I'm going to ditch the swamp, assuming we'll find lands well enough and keep that Dowser, though. Sure. We don't know how many wins it has. The matchmaking looks at win-loss, but the idea that every 6-0 is paired against some other 6-0 is just, the math isn't there to do that. Well, I'm glad they're not doing much, although it makes me nervous about trying to cast our stuff. But again, I'm not gonna cast this Doom Whisperer into big open mana. It's just too risky. Oh, that's a good point. I kind of forgot we actually had this at 1. But yeah, we'll do that next turn. Might have to Dazzle here, depending on what they get up to. There's no way it's going to get mentored, though, with the Dazzlings. If they do anything hasty that could mentor it, we get to Dazzle it. Even the Bargent can't overcome that. Probably plussing.
You're messing up my equation.
2 damage is not enough to kill anything here.
Choose wisely, because the other one's going bye-bye.
Sounds like Chris is it Parnell, the SNL voice actor, is in like every animated show ever? Kind of sounds like that, but I don't know if it is him. A little off from that. Not quite full Chris. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 mana. We can bolt and have a couple of dazzles, or we can Doom Whisper and have a couple of dazzles. He's got this. So we probably need to bolt this now just to make sure we're not losing out of nowhere to some pump plus. I mean, we have the dazzling to prevent that, but we definitely want to head into face Ral. So let's start there. If for some reason they want to throw Swiftblade in front of the Dowser, they can.
Lucky shot.
And yeah, we can't really, even with this, if we have to do a Desperation Dazzling, so be it. I'm going to cast this while shields are down, and we have Dazzling to save us from any huge disaster.
The search for the unknown. That's real science.
Yeah, it's definitely not him, but there's some lines that sound close. Radical idea. If we can, we'll send the Doom Whisperer at Ral next turn and just try to get that Planeswalker off the board. They may tap the Doom Whisperer with the Assault, though, to keep it alive. We'll see. They got a lot of protection now with the Hunted Witness on the ground is the thing. That's not bad here. In fact, I want to start there. I feel like if it were countered, it would be countered. Maybe they're just thinking ahead to what they're discarding. Or maybe they're just really thinking about whether they need to counter it or not. It's, yeah. Is that the splash, though? It must be. It could be that this is a Boros deck splashing blue, and they're just using too many... No, but you don't splash that. I don't know. This deck just seems like... Maybe it's splashing red. But either way, this seems like it's part of a splash of some kind. Do we have that bounce, or did I use it? I want that bounce spell. They're going to block here. We don't even need to Beacon Bolt yet. No, it's not. Azorius is not really an archetype here. It just kind of seems like a 3-color special. But it's very... They're showing a light red touch, so... I don't know. We're shields downing here a bit, but we get Beacon Bolt on the Vindicator plus Dazzling, so it's going to be tough for us to take a lot of damage next turn. And hopefully they're out of ways to protect Ral now. Yeah, anything's an archetype if you put it together, but it's certainly not a good one. And I do want this land, and we do want to kill this. I guess we have a... I just want a lot of land right now. We'll find our thing to pitch to the Bolt. we have a locket to crack and that kind of thing. I haven't activated the Doom Whisperer yet. We're at 8 against enough aggression that I'm a little nervous about going to 6. It also puts us in, well, they don't have the second red yet, but inescapable range. Hey Rob, thank you for stopping by just to say that. I appreciate that. Wow, this is I don't think a limited card. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant or sorcery spell you've cast before it this turn. Maybe that has, you know, I rarely ever see it, but I suppose with enough instants and sorceries, even copying, you know, just copying a beacon bolt once is pretty darn good, but it seems like a stretch.
Oh, come on. I just want to peek. The weight is killing me.
Yeah, it was a cool animation. Stormy weather on the horizon. I'm actually going to bolt this 1/1 so that the Dowser can... Well, maybe that's excessive. It's just 2 damage. I'm going to save the bolt. That's silly. They might play something much more important. So... Here, 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 here.
I won't rain on your parade.
Don't worry, Flavor Vision ain't blurry. Let's actually crack the locket here. And found a bug, that's cool. And we got both lights available too. Oh, I'm not in the right place. Why don't you guys tell me to move? Maybe you have and I've been ignoring you for 7 matches or something. Sorry about that. Oh, camera. I need like something that identifies where I'm at and just automatically moves that to the right position. Or I gotta find a better, consistent, this position works for everything type deal. Oh, let's get a little rat action.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
I really don't. I really do not want to see if Oppo can do something with the Thousand-Year Storm. I'm happy to have 6-mana Queen of Hearts over there. $19, $18, $17, $14, $13, $12, $11, $10, $9, $8. 7, 6. Yeah, see, we can surveil to like. In fact, I think. Yeah, I don't want to even risk putting myself in stupid blaze range, so I'm not going to activate Doom Whisper when we threaten lethal next turn. The way I do those memes is in Streamlabs, you can tie in media into your overlay and then have a toggle switch that toggles on and off. Yeah, another thing we could have done is surveil the rat, but basically it's just like nothing that increased damage on that attack actually made it lethal, so I didn't see the value in doing it since it didn't change the clock at all. So, you know, rare drafted the heck out of it and managed a 7-0 anyway. Maybe it would have been an easier 7-0 if we hadn't rare drafted, but that is one data point anyway. It also helped that we played like 2 of our rare drafts. We'll claim this prize, get the nice 950, plus we get to see what's in these packs for extra gems. A rare. Another rare. So we got 40 from prize packs. I'll go update that before I forget it all.